and welcome to All the Tea About Your V. So I'm very new to YouTube. I've never really done a video like this before, so it's all brand new. So a little bit about me. My name's Naomi, I'm 23 and I live in Manchester. I'm originally from South Wales. Woo woo, daffodils here. And I moved to Manchester for drama school, and now that I've graduated, I've just decided to stay here, which is good because I love the city and I love living here. So all the tea about your V. So it's basically all about vaginas. Not just my vagina. I'll have many vaginas on the show. Some friends. I've got some people coming on to talk. Charities and things like that, which is great. So I'm doing videos on YouTube, but I'm also doing a podcast, which will be put up on Spotify. So for people that are listening, I'm currently waving, and for people that are watching, you can see I'm waving. So good. So yeah, I want it to really be a space about endometriosis, periods, menstrual health, chronic illnesses, women, IBS, meiosis, bodies, everything, periods, everything to do with women, and kind of breaking the stigmas and taboos around periods. I think not many people like to talk about it, or it's always like an awkward thing, like, oh, periods, it's dirty and it's gross and blood. And yeah, it can be very gross, but it's natural and it's what we all have to go through. So I think it's important to talk about it. Mainly because I started an Instagram called Endo Awareness, which is great, and I post on it every day, just raising awareness on endometriosis, which is a condition that I have that not many people know about. It's 1 in 10 women who suffer with it, but it's definitely more due to misdiagnosis and people just not knowing enough information on it. So I created it to support people who kind of feel alone. And then I had this idea for a podcast and a YouTube channel to talk about vaginas. Why not? So it is all the tea about your V, and of course I will be drinking tea as I'm doing this. Just had a sip there. Yeah, basically I'm just really passionate about raising awareness on endometriosis. Yeah, it's giving a space for women to talk about their stories, really. So yeah, that's what's going to happen today. This is my first channel, so be kind, please. So what is endometriosis? Good question. So it's a condition where tissue similar to the lining of the womb grows in other parts of your body, basically. So ovaries, fallopian tubes, outside of the uterus, bowels. There has been cases where it's grown into like lungs, liver, brain, which is crazy. I really hope I don't have endometriosis of the brain. I don't think I do, but it would probably explain a lot. But I did read that there was a woman who found it in the brain, which is just insane. I think it's just crazy, and there's so much to this disease that I think we don't know about. Not even I know about. Before, we go any further, I'm not a doctor. Definitely not a doctor. This is just my research that I've done over the years, my experiences, my opinions, my own symptoms, my own feelings. So I'm not a doctor, and if anyone is watching who is a doctor, who is like ultimate endo specialist, I want to know. I want to know everything about it, and if I say something wrong, please let me know, because I probably will. Yeah, so endo. It's a long-term condition. There's no cure for it. It's a chronic illness. But there's ways in which you can treat it and cope with it. I don't know how I'm going to feel every day when I wake up. Yay! Which is great. Being betrayed by my ovaries is good, and I know that a lot of you feel the same. You could wake up, feel amazing, you've had a great day, or you could wake up and just feel awful and be completely bedridden, and you just can't really make plans for things. That's why COVID's been okay, because I'm indoors every day, so I've just been in my bed all day every day, which is great. So yeah, endometriosis. So it's with misplaced tissue. It becomes really inflamed and painful when it grows in different areas. It can thicken and it can kind of get trapped, and that causes like a lot of pelvic pain. So obviously it's your pelvis and your ovaries, and your uterus sits in between the pelvis, and if it grows on the outside, basically in different parts of the body. So that's what causes a lot of pelvic pain. So a lot of women would complain about symptoms like that. Hip pain, pelvic pain, back pain, because it completely grows around that whole area where it shouldn't really be growing, and it gets trapped, which is like very painful. I'm looking down because I've got like notes. Not that I don't know what I'm talking about. Obviously I'm a pro. But people are listening to the podcast. I have my laptop and I have notes, okay? So symptoms vary, and some women could feel all the symptoms, all the pain, and then some women would have hardly any symptoms and hardly any pain. So it doesn't indicate on different degrees. So there's different degrees of endo, mild to severe, and you could have mild endo but have really severe pain. You could have severe endo in your womb and your uterus and everything, but have hardly any pain. So it doesn't really doesn't discriminate really. It just attacks anyone, any point. Yeah, anyone can get it, have it. So I'm just going to read a few symptoms out, which I think are really important. I think this first video, it's not exactly fun, but it is just, I want to just make people aware and why I'm doing it and what endometriosis is. I don't want to carry on talking about it and people still not knowing. You know, this is to raise awareness really, and for a space to people to come and chat about how they're feeling and about the disease that affects so many people. So these are a few of symptoms I experience, and just general, you know, what I've researched and spoken to many women about. So pain in your lower belly and in your ovaries. Sometimes it's like stabbing, throbbing, all sorts of pains. Cramps is a big thing. It says online only 1 or 2 weeks before menstruation, but I definitely get cramps every week, every day. Doesn't matter if I'm on my period or not, it just happens. Painful sex, either during or after. A lot of women can experience that. Heavy bleeding on your period, between irregular bleeding. If you're on contraception, sometimes it completely stop the bleeding. So I had the implant put in my arm for the purpose of, I was really heavy bleeding when I was a kid really, up until since I had the implant, so what's maybe like 2 years ago now, and it has stopped my periods, which is great because I'm not bleeding at the moment. I haven't bled in like 4 months, but also because of the endometriosis tissue and that being like trapped, I just feel like I'm not getting the period, so to say, but I'm getting all the pains and all the symptoms plus more, because the lining of my uterus is not exactly like shredding, like it's just stuck. Sounds awful, not a good image to picture. So yeah, if obviously you're considering contraception for that reason, just think about it, and if you're okay with not having periods or having irregular bleeding, because I know some people hate that. Discomfort with bowels movement, so either diarrhea, constipation, just painful going to the loo. That happens to me a lot. I'm being very honest here on this channel. I'm going to talk all about my vagina. So yes, that can be very painful. Something that I do struggle with. Something you wouldn't really think you know, I think when you think of endometriosis, it's just all about your vagina, but actually it grows into the bowels and everything because it's so close and connected. Lower back pain, pelvic pain, leg pain, yeah, all of that. So sciatica, it affects your nerves, especially like I said earlier with the tissue and everything growing into and getting trapped in your pelvic area. I get awful hip pain in my back and down my leg, which is great. Just another thing to add to the list. Nausea, big time, pretty much every day. I feel sick, which is great. Great. Food intolerances, that's a big one that you don't think that comes with it, but it does. There's a lot of food triggers that can upset endometriosis, that can upset your stomach, and usually women with endometriosis end up also with IBS because of the food and the bowel in your stomach is also connected, and it's all so close together that it can affect everything really. So I'm in the process of figuring out my food triggers and back and forth to doctors about what's going on with my stomach as well as everything else. Headaches, a big one. Bloating, huge. I bloat all the time, every day, all the time. I'm bloated now, I'll show you. People listen to the podcast, you can't see, but if you want to see my bloated stomach, go to YouTube. Cool. I recommend baggy jumpers, bloat friendly dresses, stretchy leggings, everything like that. Because you shouldn't be ashamed. It happens, it's normal to bloat. It happens to girls who don't even have endometriosis. You can bloat all the time, but I do have to be careful with things that I eat. I always want McDonald's and I can't. So that sucks, but you've just got to think, is it worth the pain all evening? Sometimes, yes. Brain fog, huge. I don't think it's recognised as a big thing. All I know from my experience is I just can't really concentrate. I can't remember things. I can't remember people's names. It's really bad. I don't know if it's just me. If you also have brain fog, please let me know so I'm not crazy. I don't feel like I'm going insane. Yeah, it is a big thing, and I know a lot of girls have it. So those are just a few little symptoms just to catch people up. And there's so much more that people struggle with. I think it's important to raise awareness and talk about it. The only way that, we're going to get quicker healthcare and people diagnosed quickly is by raising awareness, which is what I want to do, and I want to tell my story, basically. So I'm just going to have a sip of tea. Yep, my period story, my first period. I started my period when I was 12, just before I went to high school, I think. So what's that, year 7? It was in the summer, just before, and I was at home. Thankfully, I know a lot of people have really bad period stories, like being in school and things like that. So I was at home, thankfully, and it wasn't anything big. It was literally, I went to the toilet, there was blood on my pants, and I went and told my mum, and I was like, there's blood on my pants, and she's like, cool, let's go buy some pads. And we talked about it, and that was kind of it. And you just learn how to go. I mean, you put a tampon in wrong and you stick a pad to your face and you get it all wrong, but you manage somehow. I used to love in school having notes for swimming. I can't swim on my period, so I'm a girl, I'm on my period, don't ask me to swim. It's quite bad, but I got out of a lot of PE classes. So I think that is a positive of starting your period when you're in school and when you don't want to do PE. They were always very heavy, and I thought that it was normal, really. I didn't really know much about periods or anything. I didn't really get taught about it in school. It was like, women have blood once a month. You put this in your knickers, put this pad in, and it absorbs the blood, and then that's it. And it just happens, and that's what it is. Which wasn't very good. I learned most of stuff just from asking my mom and my sister. So they were always heavy. I thought it was normal, so I didn't really do anything about it. And then when I got a bit older, when I was like 16, 17, I had awful stomach pains when I was eating, things like that. So went back and forth to doctors, thinking it was food intolerances. They didn't really do much testing on me. They were just like, you're fine, just don't eat any junk food. And that's fine, but some days you need junk food and you need ice cream and you need crisps, and I can't just be on a diet for the rest of my life. I need to know what foods affect me and why it was affecting me. So they diagnosed me with acid reflux and give me loads of tablets for it, and I was taking these tablets and like nothing was really happening. I kind of just left it, and I dealt with the pain really, which is not good. Probably 18 when I went to uni, I started getting just awful cramps, not like your normal period pains, just horrific. Couldn't walk, bedridden, had to have days out of uni because I was in so much pain. Pain in my back, pain in my hips, pain in my legs, just most of the symptoms really that come along with endometriosis, and I didn't even really know anything about it. Even when I was like 18, 19, I had no clue really, and you know, it was happening to me. So it's so easy to, you know, think it's something else and not really know what's going on. So I went to the doctors again, up here in Manchester, and it was okay. She diagnosed me with IBS and said it was just stomach problems, and periods are supposed to hurt, and it's just your period pain, it's just period. But no, that is not okay. It's not a normal period. Periods are not supposed to hurt like that. They're not supposed to bedrid you. You're supposed to be able to carry on with your everyday life, and they shouldn't come with all these extra symptoms that were happening. It only took, it was probably a year later, I had excruciating pain, like I collapsed in my left side, where my ovaries are. And I got in an ambulance and I got taken to the hospital and everything. I was getting ready for work and I had to call in work, like, oh God, I'm like in the back of an ambulance, like crying. And I got to the hospital and I waited for hours and hours. Nothing was really done. A doctor prodded around my stomach for a bit and said, well, you look okay, so have some paracetamol for your pain and go home. And it was just, I was exhausted, really tired and exhausted of not being listened to and not being taken seriously. The fact that I look okay, my face is fine, has nothing to do with what's going on inside my body. So I was pretty mad. And I went back to my doctor's literally the next day. I didn't kick it off, but I took a notepad of food that I was eating, symptoms, everything that happened to me every time I ate, every minute of every day, which is really important to do because the doctors will probably tell you to do that anyway. And I took all my symptoms to her and I was like, please, like, I can't not know. I need to know what's going on with my body. I can't live like this, basically. So eventually she said that she'd put me in for a scan, which I was like, amen, absolutely, thank you so much. And I waited for quite a few months for that scan. I had a scan, internal, and like an ultrasound that you would have if you're having a baby. And they found cysts on my ovaries. And finally I had something to go off. But I was worried, obviously. The doctor said, don't worry, it's normal. Everyone has cysts on their ovaries. Well, no, it's not normal. Not everyone has cysts on their ovaries. So the results went back to my GP, and then I had another catch up with her about it. And she yeah, she was great actually, and she really listened, and she said, no, not everyone has cysts on their ovaries, and these are obviously causing you a lot of pain. And the reason that I was in hospital and I collapsed is because the cyst burst, and I had no clue what was going on, and no one did anything for me and gave me paracetamol, which is hilarious because that does not even touch the sides. I can't even explain the amount of pain I was in. Really thankful for my GP that really listened to me. After years of people not, finally I was getting somewhere, which is great. Because it does really affect you when no one listens to you, especially your own GP, who is a female as well. You think that she'd be understanding and that she would know about conditions like this. Okay, so my video just went off, but I'm back. Yeah, so she did, after she really took me seriously, she did an exam on me. She actually did a smear. Obviously, I'm not 25 yet. But she just wanted to make sure, she was just concerned, which is great, and I'm so thankful that she did that. Everything seemed fine. Obviously I kept complaining about the pain, and she put me to see a specialist at the hospital, someone who is trained in all of this, anything gynecological. So I waited, I don't know, what was it, probably like 8 months for this appointment. I was really nervous. I just thought, no one's gonna listen to me, no one cares, you know. I've been turned away by so many people, told it's crazy, even thought myself that I'm crazy. But it was really good, and I had a great chat, and I took a notebook of all of my symptoms and everything that I was feeling. And this woman, I can't remember her name, but she was amazing. She was so lovely. Obviously it was during COVID, so I had to like keep my mask on and like stay away from her, but I literally wanted to hug her and just like jump over the table, take my mask off and lick her face, because she was just amazing. She finally listened to me. She said, yeah, you have endo, basically, with everything that I was describing. She said, obviously, for official diagnosis, you do need surgery. So she put me on a waiting list, and I've been on a waiting list now for about a year, 3 months, something like that. So I am waiting. It's a long time. You know, I know I've got it, but it's just, you need that official confirmation. And when you have the surgery, they'll try and take away some of the tissue, which is going to help my pain. But I just want confirmation, really. I want a doctor to, you know, tell me that I was right and I'm not crazy and all the pain that I'm feeling is valid. And I just think it's so important for people to take women's pain seriously. I don't think it ever is taken seriously. I think, you know, we all know women have periods, and yeah, it's painful, but it shouldn't be, and there's so much more to it than just a normal plain period. There's pain, and not just physically, mentally as well. It does affect you in so many ways. So I think it's good, get yourself a good GP, a good doctor who's going to listen to you, show up with your symptoms, what you want, what you need, why you want this, and yeah, tell them they need to treat you. Yeah, that's just my story, a little bit about me and why I'm doing this. And I hope that people hearing my experience will help other people realise these symptoms and get a diagnosis and have the confidence to go to the doctor. So yeah, that's my first one done. I hope people enjoyed it and it was good. Please subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you want topics to be taught about, spoken on. I'll definitely be doing funny ones as well, like it's not all going to be, you know, like a lesson. So next week I have a very special guest, my friend and my housemate Katie. She's been very brave and she's going to come on and talk all about her V. So if you want to hear about my friend's vagina, yeah, please come back. It'll be a good one. She's been really brave. So yeah, please like this and share this. Thank you for listening and watching to All the Tea About Your V.